Um, Tonight we have a few topics to cover just with the new year and everything coming up. Just wanted to give out all the information. A few housekeeping things to remind you of. We do have regional competitions coming up, especially bowling here this weekend. And I know we're still looking for a few volunteers to help at those, being pit assistants in Lincoln, Omaha, and then Kearney just got put up. So if you know of anybody that's interested in volunteering, or if anybody on your team is going to be there all day and wants a job, they can let me know or reach out to the regional director in your area and let them know, and they'll get them signed up. Another thing, just a reminder to keep checking the portal in the dashboard for any new information. I'm gonna share my screen quickly just to show what we are doing with the dashboard. Just a few updates I've made to the dashboard so that you can sorry, I can't find the screen I want. There we go. Okay. So on the dashboard, same as last year, good place to go to find the upcoming registrations, any information on plunges, a few things that I added that might be good, or at least one thing that I want to point out that I've added is this new coaches placement Excel folder form. So if you're looking to add a coach to your team, this is anybody who has filled out the online form but doesn't have a team that they are joining. They just are interested in becoming a coach. You can go to this form, and I'll make sure that I'm still sharing. And see a name, where they're located. It's a lot of Omaha and Lincoln area people, a few Fort Calhoun, their contact information, phone number or email. And then if you scroll over, there is a list that they submitted of sports they'd be interested in coaching. So if you're looking for new coaches, this is a good place to go first. And if anybody fits what you're looking for, if you're looking for a volleyball coach, this Lane Ritter might be a good person to reach out to. Once you do reach out, and if you hear back, please just let me know and I will take them off the list so we can keep it as up to date as possible. But just something I wanted you all to be aware of. That's a new option if you're looking for coaches. Other than that, so we do have Rose on the call to talk about I'll stop sharing my screen. To talk about the Polar Plunge. We have Emma on to talk about the fitness combine that's coming up, and then Nate and Dave to talk about the just competition calendar for 2024, any changes, any things everybody should be aware of. I'm gonna let Rose go first, hopefully, because it's information I feel like a lot of you already know, but she just wants to make sure everybody's on the same page. So Rose, if you're on, feel free to
I'm here.
jump
Can
in.
you hear me?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Hello everyone. So yeah, you should have already received the information regarding the Polar Plunges for this year. We currently have 4 scheduled, starting with Kearney, followed by Omaha, Lincoln, and then the Panhandle. Kearney is the 3rd, Omaha the 10th, Lincoln the 17th, and the Panhandle the 24th. For those of you that are familiar with this, it's the same platform that we've used for the last 2 years for online registration. So if those that have plunged in the past have an account, it should be pretty easy and pretty turnkey for them to go ahead and register again for this year. Taylor, I don't know, am I able to share my screen? Oh, it looks like I can.
Yes, you should. Yep.
Okay. Let me see if I can jump on here real quick, and I'll just, so here we're on can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Great. Okay. So this is just the homepage, sone.org. Right here on the homepage here is the Polar Plunge information. So you can just simply click this little red bar right there. And then this will take you to the main Polar Plunge page, which just will show you all of the dates. More information here. There's additional information, you know, as you go down the page, some facts, maybe some answers to some of your questions, and then some additional resources. These four little bubbles right here, they do click through. So whatever plunge your team may be interested in or will be plunging, you can just simply hit this bubble and it will then take you to some additional details. From there, you can choose registration. So you can do online registration, or you can click the registration form, which is a PDF. You could print that and bring that if you prefer, or you can do online registration. Online registration will then take you to the Classy page, which again is the platform that we've used for the past couple years. Again, more information, just kind of where the plunge is, check-in or, you know, check-in time, plunge time. The post party is again at Brewski's at 156th and Q, specific to Omaha. Just a reminder that it is a minimum $50 donation to plunge. So whether you're doing it as a team or as individuals, that $50 just needs to be covered per person. Again, we have incentives. So if you hit the $75 mark, you'll get the long sleeve t-shirt. That is the item that will be handed out at the post party. And then all the other incentives will be redeemed online if they hit that level, and then sent out to them following the event. So just up here at the top of the page is where they would go ahead and click Become a Fundraiser. That's where if you're setting up a team to plunge, then you would create a team. Once you have that team created, if it's already there, then they would say join a team. Or if they're just doing it as an individual, then they would toggle and click over that. It is very important, just a reminder, that in order for your team to receive the fundraising funds, your team has to be designated and written down during the registration process. So there's a specific question. It's not required, but it does say if you are plunging for a Special Olympics team, list that team name here. And that is where your community team name needs to go. That's the only way your team will get funds. And it can't be changed after they register, after the fact. Yeah, so I mean, if there's additional questions regarding the registration process, they can certainly reach out to me, or we do have an email that's polarplunge@sone.org. So they can always use that email address as well, and I'm happy to help. But yeah, that's kind of the gist. Again, just similar to last year, and using the same platform. So I don't know if there's anybody that has any questions relative to that information. Nobody?
Nobody, any questions for Rose? If not, we can let her go. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like anybody put anything in the chat. So, all right. Rose, yep. And if you do have questions later, like she said, reach out. But
Absolutely.
otherwise, we'll have Emma now talk about the combine.
Sorry,
Well,
Taylor, just one question. It does look like there might be,
Yep.
with all the snow, is there a chance it will be canceled? My understanding is, I don't know that a plunge has ever been canceled, regardless to snow, anything like that. I mean, I do know that we had quite a bit of snow last year in Lincoln and we were still able to manage. So I would say no, unless there's some sort of true detrimental issue. I think the Polar Plunge attempts to go on. That's, I think, the best I could tell you right now.
I know one year they canceled it when it was, you know, really, really windy and they were having trouble with the tents.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
do.
the only Polar Plunge I've been to that they were going to go to that they canceled.
Yeah, thanks, Barb. I do think I have heard that wind has been one of the only issues. So
Mhm.
let's just hope for 45-degree weather. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, Emma, if you want to talk about the combine and everything.
Yes, so you all should have received an email today with the link to register for the 2024 Fitness Combine. Registration will be due February 16th. The dates for this are going to be February 18th to April 5th. For those who don't know, this is going to be a 6-week fitness challenge with some pretty great prizes. You will be sent a booklet with all the activities to complete week by week. And you win those prizes by submitting your scores week by week. So the prizes for completing all of the scores will be dry fit t-shirts for all of the members competing on a team, as well as a fitness kit. And then the overall winner of the combine will receive up to 10 Fitbits. So we're pretty excited about it this year. The activities will change each week. And then I added an extra week at the end so that you could go back and maybe do a workout that you might have missed. So there will be 6 weeks, and then there will be a March Madness bracket part of it. So I can kind of share my screen and pull up the schedule for it. If it'll let me share my screen. Okay. So this is the general schedule of what the fitness combine is going to look like. So each week will be broken down by a different activity. So, and then week 5 will be the March Madness bracket. And then there's an extra week at the end to submit all your scores. And then we'll be getting all of those prizes out if you submit all of the scores, April 22nd through 25th. And submissions are due February 16th. As soon as I receive your submission, I will get a booklet with all of the information and activities mailed to the address that is put on the registration form. So the sooner you can register, the better, because I can get those sent out to you sooner and you can start planning those activities. And then there will be another link I will send out for you to submit the scores, and I will also send out the activities weekly to everyone that is registered. This is something that you can do as a family, as a small group of teams. I would love it if you send it out to all of your athletes, your families, your unified partners, any coaches. We'd love to have as many people involved in this fitness combine that we can. Can I answer any questions about the combine, what it's about, the prizes?
It looks like there's one in the chat that just says, does the registration explain this better? Because they're new to doing it.
Yes. Yes, and I will send out another email tomorrow, and I can send out the booklet. And then you'll get a physical copy of it once you register.
Okay.
The booklet will have each of the breakdowns of the weeks, what they will look like, what a submission looks like, and it'll have the entire combine from start to finish.
Will there be flyers that we can send to our individual athletes?
Yeah, I can send you a flyer. I have one. I will send out the combine book to everybody tomorrow as well as a flyer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
any more questions for Emma before she hops off? And then we can get into Dave and Nate's topics. No? Okay. Thanks, Emma.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started, Dave and I. So, hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, staying warm, staying safe. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your Monday evening and the Martin Luther King holiday. So, I just want to, echo the comments from Emma about the fitness combine. Really encourage you to participate if you've never participated in the past. That's something we started during COVID, during the pandemic, and we had over, I want to say, 1,200 participants that first year. And even last year, we had, gosh, I can't even remember right now, but it was several hundred people participating. It's a great way to get your New Year's goals off to the right track with your fitness and everything else. And it's a great team building exercise as well. So if you've not done the fitness combine, please join. And certainly if you've never plunged, please consider doing that. It is a lot of fun to plunge. So Dave and I are here tonight to talk to you guys a little bit about some sport updates for this year. So I'm going to share my screen, and he and I are just going to kind of tag team this, and we'll see what questions you all have. So give me a moment here. All right. Okay. Can you all see my screen here? All right. Oh, this is not the correct. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the wrong thing open. Give me a second here. Here we go. There we go. I apologize for that. Okay, sport updates for this year. All right, so first topic we want to mention involves the 2026 USA Games. The USA Games are due to take place in June of 2026 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This year will be our participation year. So for an athlete or a unified partner or a coach to apply to be a part of Team Nebraska in 2026, they must participate in the particular sport they're interested in applying for during the 2024 calendar year. And for our athletes and unified partners, they must finish in the top 3 of the division that they are competing in to be eligible for their sport. You can apply for more than one sport. The application period will be from August of 24 through February of 25. It'll be a very similar timeline to what we had leading up to the 22 games in Florida. So the beginning of August, we will send out an application for each coach, unified partner, and athlete position for Team Nebraska. We will find out our makeup of Team Nebraska during the fall of 24. And that's something that we receive from Special Olympics North America. The way that process works is we put in a request and we say, we're interested in these sports. We're interested in this amount of spots. And then Special Olympics North America makes that determination on what we receive. And that's for every program across the region. So we'll know those sports. Unfortunately, it'll be a little bit after when the application period opens, but we'll make sure to update you, this fall as people are considering applying. We will then close the application period the end of February of 25, and then we will meet with our program committee in March to select our coaches for Team Nebraska, and then again in April to select our athletes and unified partners. And then everyone will be registered for the games by the summer of 25. And then we will have a Team Nebraska meeting, probably late summer, early fall, and then training and everything will just kind of kick off from that point. So it seems like it's far away, but time goes by pretty fast. And I think this is important to let your delegations know and all of your participants, athletes, unified partners, coaches, that if they're interested in participating in Team Nebraska, the 26 games, that this is the year that they need to participate in their interested sport. And certainly they can call me, they can call Dave if they ever have any questions. I would anticipate that Dave and I are the Team Nebraska HODs once again for 26. And so we'll have more information as we get closer to August but I wanted to kind of get this information out now so that everybody understood what to expect for this year. All right, moving on. And we'll have time for questions here at the end, and certainly drop something in the chat if you have questions, and we'll make sure to address it as we go through. So, Dave, are you here? Let's talk about spring games. Okay, I think Dave might be having some technical difficulty here, so I'm just going to kind of keep going until he's back on. All right, so spring games. This is our first big state competition of the year. Will take place that first weekend of April in Lincoln. We'll have bowling at Sun Valley Lanes and Hollywood Lanes on Friday, and then bowling on Sunday at Sun Valley. We'll have basketball at Lincoln North Star High School and Lincoln Northeast High School that Saturday, April 6th. Things will look very similar to how they have in the past. Ramps, the first 2 or 3 squads at Sun Valley, then teams on that Friday. Doubles, the first 2 or 3 squads at Hollywood on that Friday, and then all singles will take place on Sunday at Sun Valley. 5-on-5, both unified and traditional, will take place at Lincoln Northeast High School, and then the 3-on-3 and all of our skills and young athletes will take place at Lincoln North Star High School. So we're anticipating a little bit of growth with basketball this year. We're excited looking at it from a regional point of view. We did add a couple of new venues for this year. The East Region basketball competition will take place at Creighton, and the East Central and West Central basketball competitions are now combined and will take place at the new Lincoln Northwest High School, which is a really nice facility that I think everybody's going to enjoy once they get a chance to see it. So we are excited about that. I think, like I said, we will hopefully see a little bit of growth this year with basketball. We did see a little bit of growth last year compared to the year prior. But we're not quite at the numbers we were pre-COVID. So hopefully we're getting closer and closer with each year. All right, so next topic I want to mention is unified soccer. So this involves the Union Omaha Unified team. Now, some of you are familiar with this, some of you may not be. We have been competing in unified soccer with other state programs associated with professional clubs the last 2 years. We started a unified soccer team with Union Omaha 2 years ago. Union Omaha competes in the USL League One, which is the 3rd tier of American professional soccer. And so it's something that we started that we wanted to kind of emulate what was going on within Major League Soccer. And it's been extremely successful. We've seen a lot of growth across the country. We started with a home-and-home with Forward Madison FC in Specialist, Wisconsin. And then last year, we added a home-and-home with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC unified team in Specialist, Colorado. So we will have matches with both clubs again this year, both home and away. The dates for the Forward Madison games are set. We will play June 20th in Madison and August 3rd in Omaha. We'll be meeting soon with Specialist Colorado to work out the dates with the Colorado Springs team, as well as setting up a game with the Colorado Rapids unified team when we do go away to Colorado, which will be great. We'll be able to play at a professional venue, Major League Soccer venue, that is. And so there'll be more information to come in the coming weeks. Amanda Goebbels is our unified sports manager. She'll be overseeing this team this year. And so she'll have some information about tryouts, fundraising. We have been utilizing our Unified Champion Schools grant to help support this the last 2 years. We will do that to a degree this year, but the team will need to fundraise more than what they have in the past as the costs continue to go up and the travel and those type of things. And so I am involved in trying to grow this across the country, and we are seeing other states take this on and do the same thing. I helped orchestrate a rivalry game between especially South Carolina and especially Georgia, and had some contacts with a few other states. So I'm excited to see where this goes. So if anybody's interested, just reach out to Amanda and we can get you more information as we get closer to our tryout dates. Okay, summer games take place mid-May this year. Look very similar to how it has, recently with gymnastics, swimming, volleyball, track and field, healthy athletes. So we're working on our housing right now. We do have new contacts at Creighton this year, so we need to meet with them and kind of start over with new staff and show them everything that we do. But the dates are May 15th through May 19th. So I would anticipate a very similar schedule to what we've seen in recent years with summer games. So if anybody has any questions, like I said, we'll get to those here in the end. So Dave is unfortunately not on. He's having some trouble. He was going to talk a little about spring, summer, fall games. Now for fall games, it will be a combination of Omaha and Lincoln again this year. And really the reason for that is the challenges that we've run into in finding a suitable bocce facility. And we've explored several different facilities over the last really year and a half. We are anticipating continuing with both golf and tennis in Lincoln because we have such a good relationship with the Woods Tennis Center and the Mahoney Golf Course. So those competitions will look very similar with Saturday and Sunday events. Softball, we had a lot of good feedback from all of you about the venue in Papillion. So we're going to continue to compete there Friday night softball. And then bocce, we are leaning at this point into going back outside to play bocce. And the reason is we have not been able to find a suitable indoor venue that meets our needs. You know, to find a large turf indoor facility that has 1, air conditioning, 2, an elevator, meets our needs from, you know, bathroom point of view, space point of view, is incredibly difficult. There just aren't those types of facilities out there. And, you know, we looked into the Ralston Arena as an option as well, met with them, and it's just too expensive and it would have been too difficult to pull that off. But that is a venue that we're keeping as an option in the future because I do think that would be a great venue for this event. It's just about 4 times the cost of everything else that we're looking at. So more than likely, and this is not official, but more than likely we will be going back outside for bocce and looking for a turf facility outdoors, and we'll have tents set up and things like that if we do that. So we'll let you know as soon as we can when that is official. The reason it's not is because the venue that we're looking at, we cannot book that just yet. One of the things that we've seen since COVID is we do have some venues that we work with that do not allow us to book it as far in advance as we used to. And so we will look at a very similar schedule with bocce taking place on that Saturday. And depending on what we do for bocce, we'll probably dictate what we do for a potential banquet as well. We'd like to get back to having a banquet and a dance, but the last one that we had was so poorly attended just because, you know, everybody had gone home that wasn't competing in golf. And so, you know, it's just, we have to weigh, you know, the cost and everything, you know, with the number of people that do attend it. So, all right, Dave, are you here? Okay, he's here, but he's having trouble getting his sound to work. I'm going to keep going. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about equestrian and esports. So these are 2 sports that we are no longer offering competition for. And in a second, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a new protocol we have for adding a new sport. Now, the reason that we're no longer offering these sports is because the participation numbers have dwindled in equestrian, and they never really got off the ground with esports. You know, pre-COVID, we would have 50 to 60 equestrian riders that were competing. And last year, I think we had 6 or 7 people register for the competition. And so we had found a new venue. We had found some new volunteers. We had looked at a lot of different things that we were very excited about, but unfortunately, we need a lot more people to justify the cost and everything that we were doing for equestrian to work. And so we do have a new protocol in place to add a new sport, and I'll share my screen in a moment and share some of those details with you, and it'll be posted in the coaches portal so you can review it at any time. But we're really looking to see a minimum of at least 50 participants for a sport to be added. And so that would now include equestrian. It would now include esports. That will include cornhole when we get to cornhole. And the reason is just because we need to ensure with everything that we're doing now, we have grown so much with doing more than just what we do with our traditional competitions. We do league play. We have a lot of unified champion school events. We're doing unified intramurals with several colleges now. There are so many events going on throughout the course of the year for us to, you know, put the money, time, resources into another event. We need to ensure that we have those participation numbers. Now, for anybody that wants to participate in equestrian, we do want to support that. You can practice, you can compete in other states. We will help find you a place to go. There are equestrian competitions taking place in nearby states like Iowa, South Dakota, Colorado. We will get you that information. All you need to do is reach out to Dave and we can kind of help connect you with those programs. They are more than willing to accept Nebraska riders if that is something that people are interested in. If we want to see equestrian come back, like I said, we will need to get to at least 50 participants. So For anybody that doesn't have any questions about that, just let Dave or I know, and we can go into more details about that. With esports, we are doing some things with schools still, and there's some online competitions that some schools are participating in across the country, but we didn't have anyone register for our December event that we were due to have at Creighton for esports. So we just feel that, you know, it's not something that we're going to offer at this time. Okay. All right. Flag football, soccer. As of now, this is going to take place the October 12th, 13th weekend at Papillion Landing. We do not have that facility booked just yet because we're just too far away for them to confirm, but that's what we're looking at. Hopefully it'll look very similar to what we had this last year, and hopefully we'll see a little bit of growth with flag football and soccer. This past year, we were not able to hold the vaccine clinic that we were able to hold in 2022. So we want to bring that back. We actually had it scheduled. We were working with CVS in 23, but unfortunately they canceled on us about 10 days prior to the event, and we weren't able to find another, partner to work with. So we would like to bring back the vaccine clinic and be able to offer the flu vaccine and the COVID boosters to anyone interested. So that's the goal for flag football and soccer. So we'll be sure to let you know when we get closer to the fall, those details. All right, cornhole. So Dave was going to talk a bit about cornhole. Dave does serve on the cornhole committee for Special Olympics North America, and so he is involved with helping to put together the rules and just kind of the makeup of competition. We are not ready to offer cornhole yet this year, unfortunately. Part of that is because Special Olympics North America, or Special Olympics International, I should say, has not finalized the rules yet. So we do not have rules. We are going to an event in New Orleans in February where what is being discussed will be tested. Dave will be heavily involved in that. And so hopefully we'll have more information for you by this summer. We're not quite sure yet where we're going to put this in the sports calendar. We've had a lot of different discussions about that. Some of it will probably depend on the size of the event. We are kind of anticipating that it will grow and grow rapidly and look very similar to bocce within probably 2 to 3 years. And so we need to think long and hard about where to put that. We also still need to raise the money to pay for all the equipment that's going to be needed, because we will need several boards and bags, and then we need somewhere to store all of that. But it is a sport that we are committed to adding. We're just not quite there yet without the rules. So just, keep that in mind, and we'll let you know as soon as we know when we're ready to add cornhole. Hopefully 2025 we'll be ready for that. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. This is my phone number, Dave's phone number, and our emails for anybody that doesn't already have that. Certainly you can find this information on our website as well, if you ever need to reach out to us. But I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this. And then I want to pull up that protocol that I had touched on a little bit just to show you that. It's just a one-pager, so give me a second. Okay, so when we're having a discussion about equestrian this year, we kind of felt like we needed to have something in writing to show kind of, why we do what we do and how we're going to determine in the future if we want to add something. We're always open to adding a new sport. We sent out a survey last year about cornhole, about pickleball, about dance, because those are new sports for Special Olympics. And really the one sport out of those three that there seemed to be interest in was cornhole. And so that's really the first part of the process for us. If we want to add something, we'll send out a survey to gauge interest. And then we need to review the competition calendar and figure out, where it makes sense to fit it in. And then is it a school-based competition? Is it community-based? Is it both? Is it something we're offering traditional and unified, or one or the other? We need to think about our budget. What equipment do we need? Funding. We have adequate facilities available not only for competition, but for practices, for teams. And then do we have a games management team in place to help run that event or execute that particular sport? Is it a sport that we can get volunteers, people that are qualified to run that sport? And then do we have the staffing available? Do we have rules that are in place that are formalized? All of those things need to be in place for us to add something. So that's kind of how we're coming to this decision on cornhole right now, kind of why we came to the decision to not add equestrian back. and esports, because we just don't have the participation numbers with those two sports. And with cornhole, we just don't have the rules. We don't have the games management team in place yet. We don't know where we're going to have it, when we're going to have it. There's just too many unknowns at this point. So this is something that if you're ever interested in coming to us and say, hey, why don't we do cycling? Why don't we do dance? Why don't we do pickleball? Whatever the sport is that you're interested in, this is the document that we're going to use to determine if we're ready to add that. We're always going to be open to adding something if that's what people want, but we're going to go through these steps to determine if we're ready. So we'll post this in the coaches portal so that anybody can take a look at it if they ever have questions, but certainly reach out to me. It is something that went through our program committee and was approved a few months back. All right. Dave, are you here?
He is texting me. He says he still can't get it to unmute himself or his video to work. So I think
Okay.
he's having computer
problem.
issues on his end.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully I didn't miss anything that Dave wanted to cover. I think, I went through some of that stuff fairly quickly. So I want to answer questions. There are a few other things that I want to mention that weren't in the PowerPoint, just so people are aware. We are working on a new coaches education policy. We are anticipating taking a new draft of an updated coaches education policy to our program committee in March. So we'll have something in place as we approach the summer and the coaches clinic. So that's something to look out for. You should have all received information about the NSAA swim exhibition from Amanda Goebbels last week. So that is due to take place in late February. So if you have 9th through 12th graders that are part of your delegations that are swimming with their high schools or interested in participating in that event, just email that information to Amanda. Also for our high school participants, unified speech is now an option. So in addition to unified bowling, unified track and field, unified cheer at the high school level, we actually have a unified speech division that's taking place at the NSAA speech competition. So that's really good news. This is our first year doing that. And our intramurals continue to grow all over the state. So our newest intramural that we're adding is unified pickleball with UNO. And so there will be information that will be coming out about all the intramural opportunities. And that is for individuals aged 18 to 35 that can compete and participate and have fun with college students at their local campus. And we're doing things like unified flag football, basketball, volleyball, soccer, and now pickleballs, which we're really excited about. So if anybody has any questions about any of those things, talk with Amanda, and she can make sure to get you all of that information. All right, let's see what questions we have here. Let's open up the chat to see if there's anything here. Okay, so the regionals for West Central is in Lincoln instead of Minden, correct? That is correct, yes. So Dylan should have sent information about that several months back. I know it's been on the competition calendar. The reason we decided to combine East Central and West Central was to provide more of a competitive opportunity for those teams. Some of our regional competitions are quite small, and we have a very difficult time finding a good match for people. And it's still hard, even when we get to state sometimes. It's you don't have a team in that age group at that skill level for everybody that plays basketball. But we wanted to try to, make it a better competition. And so far, the coaches that we've talked to, I think have given us some good feedback about it. So I'm excited about it. That event is still smaller than our East Region basketball event, so I don't think it's going to be too big or too terribly long compared to what people are used to. I think people are going to love the facility in Lincoln, and the plan is to rotate it from year to year from the East Central to the West Central area. So this year it will be in Lincoln. Next year it will be in a West Central location. And then the year after that, we'll return back to East Central. So that way, the traveling becomes, hopefully as equal as we can get it. But that is something that I think in the long run will be a good move for us. And it's not something that we're doing with other sports at this time. Basketball is not a qualifier for state, whereas, sports like swimming are. That is something that we might consider down the road if things work out really well, but it's not something we're talking about right now. All right, what time will Maplewood doors open Saturday for ramp bowlers? In the past, it didn't open until 8 a.m. Honestly, don't know the answer to that question, Dave. That would you probably need to go to Jane Elam to say for sure. I don't think Jane is on our call. Unless Dave, you know, and you could put it in the chat.
Nate, this is Jan with York Wolves. What
Yeah, Jan.
happens if the weather is crappy on Sunday and we can't get to Lincoln to bowl?
Good question. If we have to cancel an event, what we'll have to do is figure out a way to either advance everyone to state or have a makeup date. And at this point, you know, Dave and I just talked about this a couple of days ago. At this point, it's a little early to say what the weather's going to be. Things change pretty quickly here. As of now, it doesn't look like it's going to snow or, you know, be to the point where we can't get there. But if that changes, then we'll have to reevaluate things. But I don't think that it looks to be as cold as it is right now. Coming up, it's still going to be extremely cold, but it won't be -10 next weekend from what I've most recently seen. But if for some reason we have to cancel, what we would have to do is either reschedule it or we'd have to advance everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a hard one to answer right now. I know that the last few days especially have been really difficult. It's still difficult driving around town here in Omaha with the amount of snow and the cold. Hopefully we'll see things improve a little bit in the coming days. What other questions do people have? Okay, Dave is not aware either about the start time for Saturday as far as doors opening. So I'll talk to Jane, Dave, and I'll have her just send out an email in the next 24 hours or so to make sure that everybody kind of knows what time the doors open and what to expect if that hasn't already gone out. Any other questions? You guys are such a quiet group tonight. Well, if you guys do have any questions, just call us at the office. You know, really trying to get back into the swing of things. Obviously, we were closed a little bit there late December, and then with the weather this last week, we've all been kind of working remotely here and there. Should hopefully all be back in the office tomorrow, and really kind of hitting the ground running here as we get ready for all of the regional events and our first state competition. So we're excited about this year. I think there's going to be a lot of wonderful things. I'm anticipating more than 500 opportunities for competition this year when you factor in everything that we're doing, which is, you know, crazy. When I first started 9 years ago, we were at about 125 different opportunities for competition. Now we're over 500. And so that includes everything that we do from, you know, the league play to school-based events to all of our traditional programming. You know, our overall number of athletes continues to go up. You know, really excited about the dashboard that Taylor's created. I think that provides a lot of good information and resources for people. We appreciate all of you joining us month to month and just taking time out of your day and schedule to get this information. We want to continue that. We want to see more people participate. One of the things that Taylor and the regional directors will be evaluating early this year is whether or not we need to go back to having an in-person leadership conference. And so I think they'll be reaching out to get input and ideas from folks about that. We want to make sure that we're there to support you. So, you know, hopefully we have just another great year, and just really appreciate all of you and your time and everything that you do to, you know, make us go. Without our volunteers, without our coaches, we wouldn't be here. So thank you guys. I'll hang around for another couple minutes if anybody has any other questions. Otherwise, we'll let you get back to your evening, and hopefully you all stay warm and stay safe, and hopefully we see some better weather here real soon. So thank you guys.
Does anybody have any questions for Nate or even myself? I know I covered a few things at the beginning, but if you have any questions about the dashboard, volunteering,
Taylor, I have a question about the dashboard.
yes.
You know, when it was not in the dashboard, I could always get on and fill out my information, and now I can't do it anymore. Jane sent it email out with the registration on it, and I could fill that out. But when I go to in the dashboard and click on it, it doesn't let me do it.
The registration?
Yeah, I can get to it, and then it won't on my tablet. It just kind of like I have to go somewhere else, and I don't have that. So I don't know what's going on. But when the email that Jane sent out to me, that registration on there, it would work. But
Sure.
when I get him up from the dashboard, that happened with the last two, with powerlifting and with bowling. And I couldn't get the bowling done until Jane had sent that email out with the registration on there, and then it worked. So,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
it's in an Excel, right?
Yes, are you, there's just that extra step with the dashboard since it's in a, Dropbox format. I
Right.
can maybe
That's-
share my,
That's probably the issue that
yeah,
catches me,
so
because
I'll share my screen right now and just see if this is what you're kind of talking about. So if you were to go to East Central Bowling,
Mhm.
is this kind of what it looks like?
I don't even get that.
No, okay.
Mm-mm.
Because it should ask once you get to this page, sorry.
It shows up and then it disappears,
Hmm.
and I don't know why.
That might be something I know just on your end of like
With my tablet,
your
maybe.
your downloads. It might be
Mm.
going to like a folder you're not aware of. It's like maybe downloading but not to an obvious place that it was before.
Like to my Excel documents, my
Yeah.
Excel program.
Yeah, I think because I don't know how without
Well,
like looking
yeah.
at your tablet how to fix it or kind of understand the problem better.
Okay, well, maybe the next one that comes up, we'll maybe get in touch with you about it and
Yeah,
try to see if
yep.
we can get it
If
figured
you
out.
wanna, yep, give me a call and we can do a Zoom or something and you can share your screen and walk me through what kind of is going on with you.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question regarding regional entries also.
Mhm.
So I submitted my West Central Bowling, but
Okay.
I had to send it via an email. I had to copy and paste into a Google Doc and send it, but I haven't heard whether they received it or not. This is Lynn from McCook, by the way.
Who did you send it to?
That Jay Devney that it says
Okay,
to send it
Jessica.
to.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
I would assume that we've gotten it. Let's say I have to get into our GMS system and just see.
Yeah, I'm always worried that it doesn't go when I have to send it a different way. So,
Sure.
We can make sure, Lynn, that she has it, and if not, we'll have her reach out.
Yep,
okay,
so
because I also had an athlete that wasn't on there that I put at the bottom.
okay.
So if they can just let me know what they don't have of that athlete so I can get it in.
Sure. Yep. She'll be Jessica will be in the office tomorrow, so I
Okay.
can double check with her.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Any other questions before we log off? Is asking for sign in. Coaches portal is asking for a sign in again when you click on the file and we don't have an account. Had that initially, but looks like some permission requirements have changed. Okay. I will look into that from Dave if some people are getting it, asking them for a login. Is there a specific file, Dave, that's happening when you try and access a specific file? Or just the whole dashboard in general? And Lynn, Dave just texted me, he can't talk, but he said it looks like they've got McCook entered into for
Okay,
regional
perfect.
bowling.
Thank you.
So, yep,
Thank you.
the East region. Okay. Thanks, Dave. I'll get that figured out on my end and see why it's doing that, and then the East region bowling registration, I'm guessing is what you're referring to. So I'll figure out why that's happening and get back to you tomorrow.
Are we just to assume, Nate, then, just go ahead and start practicing outdoor bocce for this year then?
Well, I think it's likely, yeah. I don't have 100% answer for you right now, but that's where we're leaning. Just being inside last year, it just didn't work out with the heat, and we would have been better off outside. And we know it's still going to be hot outside. Our goal is, though, either way, to have it on turf and not grass. That is our
Okay.
goal. So we are looking, if we're outside, we're looking for like an outdoor football field that is a turf field. That's what we're looking for.
Okay, all right, thank you.
As soon as all of that is booked, though, we'll make sure to communicate that. It's just the facility that we're talking to, it's too early. They won't let us book it yet.
So if we don't have any more questions, we'll let everyone go. Again, if any of this information, reach out to us if you have questions, or the recording of it will be up in the dashboard and on the portal for you to go back and watch or listen to. And next month's meeting agenda will be up in the portal as well with the link, but I'll send this out to everybody tomorrow as well. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining us for the first leadership meeting of 2024, and we appreciate everyone who was able to show up, and we'll talk to everyone later. We'll let you guys go.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
All right, you too.